Thank you for joining CU Bands and Fans podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by Homegrown KIO. Homegrown KIO is on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. It is a stellar show featuring the great songs that have come from bands originating in Champaign-Urbana. Listen at 107.9 on your FM dial, at 1079wkio.com, or ask Alexa to play WKIO. Hey everyone, it's Terry with CU Bands and Fans Podcast Tuesday. Our guest today is Andrew Duncanson of the infamous Kilborn Alley Blues Band. My co-host is with us tonight, Zach Widdop, and we're ready to just get into this with Andy and talk about music. How are you, Andy?
I am very good. Good to see you, Terry and Zach.
Great to see you too. Thank you for doing this podcast with us. We're pretty excited to get you on here. Let's start off talking about Kilborn Alley Blues Band. Because Kilborn Alley Blues Band has been how long? How long has this been a band?
Well, I call it summer of 1999.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I call it. It's when four friends that were in high school decided to really try to make a little band together. And so that was me and Josh Rasmus Stimmel, Chris Breen, and Anthony Decerbo as young dudes hanging out, trying their instruments, trying to, get good at their instruments and hang out together. That's when it started.
And was blues the objective genre, immediately, or did it turn into that?
No, that was the objective initially, yeah. So that's why I picked up the guitar, was I wanted to play and sing the blues. Yep. So
how old were you how old were you before you even started Kilborn Blues?
Well, we started the band in '99, so I would have been 17 years old.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, and I really just started playing guitar about 3 years before that, 14, 15. I started to take some guitar lessons, and so yeah.
That is crazy. That's awesome. We had Jeremy Harper on our podcast, and he talked about he was in a band, and I think he talked about like high school too, just kids. And he said that they had went to the back, and he goes, and this band, started playing. You guys were at a house, I think, somebody's house.
I actually listened to that last night. I listened to the Jeremy episode, and I got a real big kick out of it. You guys did a great job with him. He's a wonderful guy.
Oh, we just
I
love him.
Jeremy. And we used to do house parties back in them days in Urbana, especially. There would always be little college house parties, and that's where I met Jeremy. And I think he mentioned something about there being some weird circumstances, and I'm gonna have to ask him about that. I can't remember what really happened.
His stories were so great. But he said you guys kicked up. They were in the back, and he said this band kicked up, and I was like, who in the hell is that or whatever? And because he goes, it was just amazing. And he goes, it was Kilborn Alley Blues Band. And I go, are you kidding me? He's like, no, these four kids, were just killing it. And so that was pretty impressive. It was an incredible, great story. I love hearing stuff like that, especially, you guys are all older now. So I love to hear when you were teenagers and kids and starting music like that back in the day. That's good stuff. That makes for great stories.
I think you got your name in part from your grandmother's name. Is that right?
True. You're on something there. So yeah, the name Kilborn Alley came about from, we're youngsters. This was like an internet thing. Something about your mother's maiden name. And and the street you live on. You guys know this kind of stuff that goes on the internet, make your blues name. So we did that, and we just half jokingly, but we all decided, oh, Kilborn sounds pretty cool. so but kind of the cool thing about it is we really were like these alley dudes. The Chris Breen, still the bass player in Kilborn Alley, lived on the corner of Washington and Elm Street, and there's an alley right there between Hill and Washington. And that's where, I mean, we were, just young delinquents, and we would hang out, and because we were underage, we would get our 40 ounces from the bum down at the liquor store that's still there, but on Randolph and University. And we would take those 40s and go back into that alley on Washington, or on Elm and Washington, and we would drink our beers and talk about what we wanted to do with our lives. And somehow on one of those nights, we came up with Kilborn Alley. And that's it. Yeah.
And it works. I mean, it's brilliant. It works. It fits. It's just, yeah, it's fantastic. I love how you got that. So what four did you begin with, and what four are you currently? Do you have still four in the band, or is there more? Oh gosh, how many members have you been through? Because I know Joe Aslan used to play with you, right?
Yeah, honestly, I'd have to like really get like a pen and paper out and start. It for a band that's been around for 23 years, it's really not that many musicians that have been in the band. But yeah, the first four, like I said, were these high school friends. Anthony Decerbo, who's now Serbo, who's a rapper on the scene, who is a wonderful lyricist and rapper. And so he played drums, and Josh Rasner Stimmel played guitar, myself on guitar, and Chris Breen on bass. That was the original four. And that band kind of lasted maybe about a year or so, between 99 and 2000. And then Anthony was going to U of I, and really more pursuing his rap dreams, which is good for him. That's where he needed to go. And so he was the first one that was out. And then and that's when in 2000 I met this cool dude named Joe Aslan at the Canopy Club. At the open mic night on Tuesdays. I went there every Tuesday religiously, from probably 2000, even maybe earlier. I somehow got in. They let me in, and so I would start going. I was Tuesday, and I would always bring my guitar, and Joe heard me play this terrible rendition of Robert Johnson, and we became friends immediately. And so Joe joined the band. And then we found this great drummer named Yasufumi Sono, who was here, and I think he's in California now, but Yasu was in the band for like maybe 6 months. And then Yasu didn't want to do it anymore. And that's when Jaden Brooks joined the band on drums. So it was me, Jaden, Joe, Breen, and Josh. And that band lasted for 5 years. So
wow,
that's that was the band that we really got going with here around Champaign-Urbana.
And then who's current? I know you still have.
Well, currently we have Jim Pryor on keyboard, who's amazing guy who plays jazz, and he's the musical director at Canaan Baptist Church. He's just fluent on everything, just a brilliant guy. He's on keyboard. Aaron aTrain, A+ Wilson on drums and vocals. Chris Breen and myself. And up until recently, Dave Fauble was on saxophone, and he just passed away in March. Still so sad about that.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You had to, it's tough because losing,
Dave Dave started jamming with us at the Canopy back in those old days, and he lives in Quincy. That's where his home base is. But he came to he came back to teach tennis at the Urbana Country Club
Oh, wow.
every summer. So he would come in the summer times, and we would have Dave, and he was just this beautiful sax player and just an amazing guy that I just love absolutely to death. And so he had been with us since like 2001, off and on. He would try to make whatever he could.
Yeah.
So
He brought so much to the band, and I know we've seen him at Rose Bowl. He was always there when you played Rose Bowl,
yeah,
and just incredible, incredible, and a sweet soul. I mean, he was always just conversation and engaging, and just a very very kind person. So I'm sure that you all miss him very very much. And
yes, we
there's
do.
no replacing that.
Nope.
It's yeah. So, but thankfully you got the memories. You did a RIP for him, a little note on your website for anyone that wants to check out their website, which has got all their music. It's got a little tribute to Dave, and that's www.kilbornalley.com. It's very very simple. The website's awesome. I don't know who did your website, but they did a fantastic job. Uh, who did that? You guys?
Um, the original kind of website designer was somebody that was one of my dad's students at Millikan, and um, Bob Polesny keeps our website up.
So maintains it. It's updated. I mean, that's what I always kind of look for when I go to a website. Is it current? Has it got your current music? Has it got your current events? And yours does. And I did notice on the website that you guys have been nominated for several awards throughout the years.
Yep.
Yep, several blues awards, which is that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, like so when we started recording with Nick Moss back in 2000, I think we recorded in 2004. The album was released in 2005. It was called Put in the Alley. And that album was nominated for a BMA, which was formerly the WC Handy Awards. And that's an organization out of Memphis, Tennessee. And so we got this BMA nomination for Best New Artist, and that was kind of the beginning of that. And then the next album, called Tear Chicago Down, for the Blues Music Awards, was nominated for Best Contemporary Album of the Year. So
It just goes on and on. I mean,
yeah,
you've got nomination like on both sides of the website since 2000. Was it 2007 on up?
right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Those BMAs were great. I mean, that the whole worldwide blues community you know was paying attention and put us down for those awards, and I'm very appreciative of that. It got us out there, got our name out there across the whole
yeah.
worldwide.
Now, am I mistaken, or did you guys tour?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
this band's done bunch of tours. I don't know, a couple dozen.
That's what I thought so.
Europe
Yeah, I
sometime.
mean, starting off, we did some East Coast tours, where we made it up to the Boston area and down through Delaware and through Pennsylvania and back home, and we would do that. We'd jump in the van and do that. In 2007, we got on an airplane and went to Alaska and
Oh,
did a whole thing, which was really cool. In the summertime, so it was daylight all day long. Um, and then in 2009, we started traveling to Europe. The initial tour was just to England, and we did I think 3 weeks in England and
my
and
gosh.
mostly in London. And then we continue that. And so we've done at this point 10 tours of Europe. So we got some really good friends, fans, connections in Germany, Switzerland, Holland, and we've continued to go back there. Unfortunately, since the pandemic, we haven't been back since 2019.
Are you planning on it though? If things keep
Yeah,
moving?
yeah, I think there's some things in the work for another European tour. Sure.
What's it take? That's amazing. First of all, that's so. Let's talk about Alaska for a minute. Like,
Sure.
what kind of places did you play in Alaska? What was that like?
Well, the thing that brought us there was this like a bigger festival gig in Fairbanks, Alaska, where the big university is there. And so it was from the University of Fairbanks brought us to there, kind of, made the thing all happen. But between, I think we were there for 2 weeks and we played, there's a big blues club in Anchorage. We played there. We played in the Denali Forest Park at like a resort, and that was fun because we played for the like the kids that run the resort. We played from, I think it was like 11 at night to 3 in the morning for the
Oh my,
resort kids that work there. And then let's see where else. Oh, one of my favorite places was this place called the Howlin' Dog Saloon in Fox, Alaska. And that was outside of Fairbanks. And that was a real deal cool biker bar. Like,
I was gonna say, like, how many people in Fox, Alaska? Was there?
not many, not many.
And
And
they
they
were
had
all.
us, they put us out in these little huts outside the bar. And they were like, watch out for the bears.
You're on your own. That's what we're gonna give you.
Yeah, you got this little hut. Go ahead. It was comfortable though. We had a good time. And we really had a good time at that Fox Alaska gig. That was probably my favorite gig.
So you say it was bikers? It was a biker bar?
It surely was. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I bet you guys did have, that had to have been a great gig. Um, so then you toured in, where'd you say, England?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
2009 we went out to England, and that on that tour we had that was when Joe had kind of left the band, Joe Aslan, and we had this wonderful harmonica player named Deke Harp, and he was with us on that tour. And I don't know if you guys know. Well, I'm sure
I know.
Zach knows Deke. Um, but yeah, Deke was he moved to Central Illinois from New Jersey
wow.
back in the mid 2000s, and he is one of the best harmonica players in the world. He's really an amazing harp player, and so he was with us on that tour.
So what's it take to get ready for a tour like that? I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, you kind of,
You have to mentally get prepared, or, you know, mentally just like get prepared for all that travel and all that.
yeah, I think yeah, you do have to get mentally prepared, but I mean, I just, this is the Kilborn, and kind of what I've done is, you're always playing. So tours is just another fun part of it. Especially in those early days, just excited to go, you know.
Yeah, and the early days touring, and I mean, and I've mentioned this before on many podcasts because I am a huge music documentary person. I love to watch those, and when I watch earlier the old days or old school days, I guess, when bands toured, and they got a van and they just kind of went for it, and their stories are just fascinating because
Uh-huh.
things happen, and sometimes their van breaks down, and this one band just left their van. They're like, they paid $500 for it, they just left it in the parking lot.
Right.
And so all that stuff, but that's what makes the touring and all of that so interesting and
There's one
fascinating.
thing I was curious about. Did you take your instruments, or were there some instruments you didn't take, like a drum kit? And did you take amps, or did you come up with that stuff over there in Europe?
Yeah, that's a good question. Whenever we go to Europe, we can't afford to take amps. That would be, you guys know if you fly, they charge you out the wazoo for any extra thing. So everything is there, and that's that's like the most stressful part about going over to Europe is making sure the equipment is at the gig. A lot of the stuff we do, this is not big high tech gigs. This is we're going you know what I mean, we're going over there, and you know people are helping us. So we take our guitars. The drummers usually take a snare drum, maybe a hi-hat, maybe a kick drum pedal, and then we just hope and pray everything shows up at the gig when we get there.
Does it? Or have you come upon a time when it just wasn't?
Oh yeah, lots of times it just was not there. One of the best gigs though we ever did was we got to London on that first gig, and we were in Brixton, South London, and we got there and none of the gear was there, and we were all though at the club, and they had a couple of pieces of things there, and so we just played out of I sang out of an amplifier. Ed put his snare drum. This Ed O'Hara was in the band, and Ed put his snare drum on a chair, and and we just jammed with just whatever we had. And I'm telling you, those people down in Brixton probably still talk about that to this day because it was so much fun. And that's just one of those things you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the show must go on, right?
Yeah, the show went on, and it was so much fun, and we ended up playing in that spot another, I don't know, 6 7 times over the years.
Oh my
But
gosh. Did anybody video any of that?
oh, I don't think so. That'd be
Man,
nice, wouldn't it?
yeah, I
That
would
was
love.
2009, so that's before video.
Yeah. And especially before cell phone video and you know
Right.
4K video and all that stuff. So, gosh, I would have, man, if you guys had photos or just anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
me and Zach would have come in handy during that time.
Yes, you would have.
Uh, let's move on to all the music that you guys have recorded. And have you recorded with the same recording studio?
um, well, the first album that Kilborn Alley did was in 2002, and we recorded it at Pogo Studios.
Oh my gosh.
So with Ruble Engineering and doing some producing. So Mark was there, and that was a self-titled kind of self-release thing. And it's I have a few copies left, but it's out of print. It's very young and very raw.
What was the name of it? Uh,
It it's just called the Kilborn Alley Blues Band.
was that the four? The one that had
No,
the,
no, no. No, this was this isn't out there online or anywhere.
oh, nowhere. Oh,
No,
wow.
no, this is not online. Like I
That's
said,
probably
I have like 10 copies in my house, and that's
that's
it.
probably the only one I don't have.
So what do you think about putting that into production? What do you think about just
I don't know, because we were so young and raw, and you know, I don't know if I want to, re-release that, but I've listened to it recently, and it's actually pretty good. And
I'd
so
love to
that
hear it.
one, it has that's the only recording we have with Jaden Brooks, who was our first drummer for a long period of time. And Jaden actually, when I listened back to that, was like the most kind of, he really was really good. Jaden is 6 years older than me. And he had kind of already had a lifetime of playing music with his father, Bruce Brooks, who's also a kind of an old Champaign legend, uh, playing on the streets in Chicago and in San Francisco. So he was
Oh,
the most practiced and accomplished musician in the band. at that point in time. So I listened back to that and I think, damn, Jaden was really good. And he kind of really knew what he was doing. And we were all just kind of figuring things out.
Yeah.
But I think we sounded all right though. So that was the first recording that Kilborn Alley did. The next one ended up I think 3 years later. And then Ed O'Hara had joined the band on drums. And we went up and recorded with Nick Moss at his home studio. And we did 4 albums in a row there from
Gosh.
2005 or 6 till 2011. We did 4 albums in a row there. And those got nominated for those BMAs and Blues Blast Awards and stuff.
Yeah, and which album has, let me see, one of my favorite songs of yours is Couple of Days.
Couple of Days. That's on 4. That was recorded with with Nick Moss, Nick Moss's studio in I think 2011. I think.
The first time I heard you guys was 2012. Obviously, it was when we kicked this up, and I believe it was at the Iron Post, and that's where I heard this song live. You guys were playing it. So then I was like, okay, I've got to have that CD now because I want to hear this, over and over again. So yeah, I own that one. Obviously Zach does too. And then you have one that how long ago was this one released? The latest one with County Line Motel on it.
Yeah, Taking Time was released in April.
Oh, very recently.
Yeah, that's brand new.
And where can people get that, purchase that?
Well, the main place they can get it off the bandstand. There's some at Exile on Main. And nice. And you can get it, you can download it on everything, and you can stream it everywhere as well.
Okay, fantastic.
I think you might be able to get some physical copies through Amazon, but I have to make sure that's up and running. But the best way is get it off the bandstand, just to get it from us.
Yeah, and that's so like I'm putting my order in now for that one.
All right, cool.
And and you're singing with on County Line Motel.
Yes.
You are singing with, is it Lakeisha Burris?
Yeah, Lakeisha Burris.
Burris. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It's beautiful. Oh my God, her voice is.
Yeah, Lakeisha is very established gospel singer in this area. And she's actually done a lot of touring. She's been to Europe, I don't know, half a year ago or so. I heard she was out in Vegas. She's done, a lot of stuff. She's got a brilliant voice and just powerhouse voice. And so I was writing that tune, County Line, and this is the first one ever I was writing where I said, that needs to be a duet. You know what I mean? Like that had never really been like a focus of mine. And then I started to hear it. And so I went to aTrain and I said, man, who do you think would be good for this duet? And he said, Quee. That's what we call her, Quee. And so we got Quee in the studio and it was just really magic.
It is outstanding. It really, really is. That her coming in, you're right. That definitely, is duet material. And she accompanies you so beautifully. Have you heard that yet, Zach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to play it for just a quick second, but we will have it at the end of the
County Line Motel. They can see on the door. Give a neon sign. Send free HBO. Remember when we started? We had to keep it on the low. had a boyfriend, you had a girlfriend, couldn't let nobody know. So 2 towns over, oh, on the county line, I met my baby by the neon sign. Oh, County Line Motel, vacancy on the door.
That's all you're getting, y'all. You have to buy it.
Yeah, you gotta
It is. See how awesome that is? I love that. And that, who wrote that? You? Did you write that in?
I wrote the tune. Yeah,
That line. Let me see. County Line Hotel where vacancies on the door, and the neon sign says free HBO. That's so relatable. You know,
ain't it?
it just jumped out at me when I heard it. I was like, that is such amazing lyrics right there.
Everybody's past. I mean, past those motels. You know, just something that, you know, it's not the best motel on the side of the road. You know.
But that free HBO, man, that always gets you, you know. So it's so relatable because we've all just seen it or drove past it or, you know,
It
whatever.
makes me think of this little motel just this side of Covington, Indiana. It's not on a county line. It's not too far from the state line, but they had a free HBO sign on it. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that got me when I heard that, and I was like, oh, you know, the whole song is fantastic, and then obviously she brings, you know, she just kind of like you both together, collaborating together on that is perfect. And how many songs are on that?
There's 10. There's 10 tracks on Taking Time. Yep.
Well, okay, Taking Time is the
Yeah,
Taking
Taking
Time.
Time, which was recorded out at Earth Analog Studios in Tolono,
Oh,
and and then kind of finished off with James Treichler's little home studio, Wave Upon Wave, which is in Champaign, and he engineered the whole thing, and just was he. I've done so much work with him. He's a wonderful partner to have. So,
James is really good. Yeah.
yeah,
now
James is great.
didn't is he the one, Zach, that recently worked with Ian and
Yes.
all of
Yes.
them? Okay, that
Yeah.
was that was crazy good.
Yeah, Wave Upon Wave, and then so yeah, he does some like some side work where he can go out to Earth Analog, which is Matt Talbot's place in Tolono, and you know, just engineer and run the whole place. Um, so yeah, so it's wonderful working with both those guys.
Yeah. So do you like recording?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I like writing and recording, and yeah, I like it a lot. Yep.
Are most of these on all of your music? Are you the main writer?
Yeah, my lyric writer. Yeah.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, we collaborate on music, but yeah, most most of the stuff is stuff I've written. Yeah, lyrically.
So do you write the lyrics and then do you bring it to the band and say, hey, and they put the music to it, or
Yeah, sometimes I'll have a generic idea, but the stuff the band brings is the real spice that it gets. So that's what's fun about having a really cool band like Kilborn Alley. Everybody brings their own thing, and it's not like you know do this, do that. It's, hey, what would you like to do? What sounds good to your ear? And so that's what we've done throughout the years. But
yeah.
yeah, I've the songs off with lyrics and maybe a basic idea, and then we go from there. And all credit to all throughout the years, all the guys, fellow musicians I work with to make things really interesting.
When
Now
did
you
you pick up Abraham? That was-
Yeah.
Abraham.
Good
Yeah.
question.
uh 2002, Zach.
Okay. And that had something
Um,
to do with like Mapson's place, I guess.
yeah, yeah, everything to do with Ike Mapson's place. Abraham had just gotten out of prison, man. He'd been in there, I don't know how long. It was a decent stint. And Ike Mapson told me, he said, let's see if I can do an Ike imitation. He said, now, Andy, when Abraham gets out of jail, I want you to do a show with him, damn it. He wouldn't just say damn it, though. He'd say some other words in there. So we want to keep it a little bit clean, right? But yeah, if anybody knows Ike Mapson, he was a promoter that had brought big blues acts to this town. And he's one of the people that helped me get going in music. Hired me to, or had me come down and play with Little Milton's band when I was 18 years old. And then the next year he had Kilborn Alley play the Champaign County Blues Festival. But yeah, so Zach, after I'd known Ike a few years, and like I said, Ham was getting out of the joint and he needed to do some shows. So, as you know, you probably heard him tell it, man. He said, you know, we had 2 practices and then boom, we did a show.
Yeah.
You know, when I seen you guys when we began doing what we're doing, and yeah, he would just step off the stage and, you know, get out there with the crowd and just happy and put his soul into it. And yeah,
he was a great singer. And you know, he loved to entertain, he loved to interact with people, all probably like the same amount. I mean, he wanted to be out there with y'all and saying hello and walking right up to you, singing right to you. You know, I don't think there's going to be that many more type entertainers like that as we go forward.
I have to agree.
In this world, there's one of a kind. That's not going to be happening much more. And he passed back in 2018 now, and he had 15 plus years traveling around with me and the guys, and it was amazing. I can't even tell you guys how cool it was to just know him as a friend, as a musician, as you know, became a family member.
I used to give him rides home after the shows, and I think he liked
I know you did, Zach.
I enjoyed the company too, yeah.
Exactly. Well, just like, you know, my dad says, and many people have said, it was your pleasure to buy him a beer.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a great opportunity for you to buy him a beer so you would get more out of it than he would.
Now in 2000, I cannot believe that it's been since 2018.
Yeah.
My God, that's crazy. So when I brought this up to you, did you know Abraham at all? When I brought this to you and said you're going to have Abraham, did you know?
Ike. Yeah. Heck no. I didn't know him at all. They said he was amazing. But no, they just said, hey, you guys are going to have to do a show with this dude when he's out and ready to go. And so, yeah, we just started hanging out with him. And if, you know, you guys know the band, man, we're pretty fun loving, chill dudes. And he just fit right in, you know, just like we had that friend, that older friend that needed to be there.
Yeah. That's really beautiful, though. I love it. I love that so much. You guys have some. I know that you should have a book. You should write a book. I know you've got some really great, fantastic stories. It's just fascinating. But you've been very successful for 23 years. What are your future plans? Do you have it? I mean, you just released another album, so that's pretty. You know, that's a pretty big accomplishment. But what are you thinking, like, for the future?
What drives me is to keep writing, keep getting better on my instrument, and you know, just keep good relationship going with the guys, and I don't know, like, since kind of European touring was put on hold and it's so hard to piece together US tours now,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like it was easy before. Now it's really hard because bands like ours that are, true like blues bands, there once was an infrastructure and a group of blues bars around the country, and they've all disappeared over the past 20 years because of financial things. Um, so
Boy, that's
so I mean, putting together tours is just it's really tough. So I mean, whatever we can do here, put on good shows. The band has been like our Rose Bowl shows have now become really fun. LaQuisha comes out, Qui comes out and sings. Um and uh and we have Kenny Odom comes out and plays saxophone, and he's really cool and a really good
Yeah.
guy. And Kenny played on their show yesterday in Decatur and just really grooving with the band, and so we're having fun with that, and just just to keep on
kind of
going.
just hanging locally right now and just
Yeah,
keep
but
doing.
I mean, just anytime an opportunity arises, we're gonna take it and go. But so
Is there any place you've never played that you'd really like to play?
I was gonna ask him that. You and me right on the same page.
oh yeah. Well, just like um actually I think I was gonna take it in a different there's places I want to go. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I don't been to Europe a bunch of times, but I'd love to see the band in Brazil or Japan. They love blues there in
Mhm.
both those places. And so those are kind of like dream destinations at this point. Stuff like that. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Like blues destinations, we've hit a lot of, we've played in Memphis and we've played in the Delta, and we've
Chicago
played,
and
yeah, Chicago and all sides of Chicago, and had a lot of fun and played in LA and New York and you know Boston area, all around Texas, wherever. These places were steeped in blues, but yeah, I mean, just kind of selfishly as a traveler, I'd like to go to somewhere South America or Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
it'd be kind of cool for you guys to be in Japan.
Yeah, yeah. They
Blues.
that's a blues area. So yeah.
Are you guys playing in the upcoming Blues Fest that Zach's for the Prairie Crossroads?
We played it last year, so no, we're gonna sit this one out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Where was that last year? At the fairgrounds?
It was at the
Fairgrounds.
fairgrounds. Yeah.
I always had a wedding or something when you had that.
I think there
Yeah.
was a wedding then. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always had a wedding, so not this year. So I'm
Gotta
in.
tell those people stop getting married on Saturdays.
Yeah, I know it. Like that's the thing. Um, yeah, I've really limited a lot of that this year. But anyway, aside from that, is there anywhere locally that I can't even imagine? Is there anywhere locally that you would like to play that you have not? And I mean, that's like 200-mile radius around here. Because I can't imagine though you guys not playing anywhere that you.
Well, I think the band needs to find a new home in Chicago. Um, we haven't played there much lately. We play in St. Louis all the time.
Hmm.
What we need to find a new place in Chicago that kind of really fits the group, and the hours are okay, and somewhere cool where people. But yeah, something like that. You know, last I think last year I counted just for fun how many cities in Illinois we've played, and it's over 100.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
and I assume that you're a full-time musician.
Well, yeah, this is all I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not see you having time to do anything else if you, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you guys keep moving though, and it's so great to see. So many times band, I mean, 23 years, that's long lasting. That's
Yeah.
saying, yeah, that you did it. You build a foundation and just and maintain it and just keep moving. So, congratulations.
Thanks.
Especially being a full-time musician is not easy.
No.
Um, I mean, Tom Grassman's a full-time musician, has been for 20, do I want to say 25 years? Did he hit 25? I
Something
don't know.
like that. Yeah.
And he celebrates it every year.
Yeah, every single year. Yeah, and but that's not an easy thing, and I'm sure your wife and all of that, who's extremely supportive, thank God.
Yep.
Yeah, Lily, who she works for WILL, right? She's amazing too, and we're gonna have her on the podcast too. I asked her why she was setting up for you. Support that is crucial if you're going to be a
It really
musician,
is.
let alone a
Yeah.
full-time musician.
Yeah. Ever since I started playing music, my folks, my wife, everybody's always been do what you need to do and very supportive. I mean, that's one of the main things I would say for me has helped me to just keep doing this is that support. I
Your
can't.
mom and dad are at a lot of your shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
they love coming out. They're proud.
That is so great. Did
Yeah.
is there anything that you've ever in all of this time, did you ever want to waver from this Kilborn Alley Blues Band? And then we're going to talk about your new trio.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I'm just always what's the next move, with Kilborn. So no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very, because you are just very, very talented and obviously a songwriter as well, which I mean, your lyrics are just crazy good, just crazy. I mean, you have a new band or a newer band called Dig 3.
Yeah. So the Dig Three is myself, Ronnie Shellis on harmonica, and Jerry Hunt on foot drums, guitar, um, bass guitar. It's called bass six. It's a different kind of bass guitar, and he also plays some mandolin and harmonica. Jerry's kind of he does
Wow.
everything. So what? So yeah. I mean that the basis of what that is in Chicago, Jerry does this one man band thing where he plays these foot drums and guitar and a harmonica rack. So what we did was we and Jerry and Ronnie go back 25 years to Colorado. They've been really good friends. So during the early times of the pandemic, he came down and we did a little show in Ronnie's backyard. Ronnie had just moved to Champaign. And we did a little show there where we did this band, and we're like, oh, this is really cool. So I had a bunch of songs that I wanted to get recorded. And so we went to Earth Analog once again out in Tolono and recorded this stuff. And then Jerry came up with the name Dig Three. And so, but it's like this, a group of friends that just, like it says in the liner notes of the CD, came together to socialize, really essentially, and make some music. And we kind of came up with this really cool CD. And it's fun to gig with those guys. We're all old friends, and so that's kind of the Dig Three. Yeah, but it's I think that there's 14 tunes. There's one instrumental, and I wrote the other 13 tunes. Wrote all the lyrics for this stuff. So it was just this great place for me to put all these blues songs I've been writing, and just put
Oh my
them in this place.
So where can we get that? Has that been?
We have some printed right now, but it's going to be released digitally and everything mid-August.
Oh, okay, coming up.
But yeah, and actually, I mean, I don't think this will be out by the gig, but tomorrow we're at the Roast Bowl.
Yeah.
I know, about that band though, also Ronnie just moved back to Colorado. So we're gonna have actually Nick Moss's bass player, Rodrigo Montavani, on the bass, and so it'll be me and Jerry and Rodrigo. So it'll be a very fun act tomorrow as well.
And what kind of music is that? Is it the same blues?
Yeah.
Or
But yeah, I mean, and so with this foot drum setup, it's kind of like stripped down blues, very, very raw sounding stuff.
wow, I can't wait. I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear that. Yeah, that's great. And so and you guys are you're playing live obviously, plus you've recorded.
Yep.
And then you're still moving forward with live gigs with Kilborn Alley as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you guys still playing over at Po Boys?
Nope, the band is they're doing the other type of acts, right, Zach?
Yeah,
On the
they're just having, when we have our Prairie Crossroads Blues Society meetings on the second Thursday of the month, they've just been having mostly solo people.
yeah, or small
solo.
bands, or yeah.
It was Billy Galt last time, but then he had a couple guests. David Lumsden came all the way over from Springfield to play guitar with
Oh,
him.
wow.
And David Adcock sat in on a harp, but it was originally just going to be Billy and a couple duets. I think Black Eyed Lilies played the month before that, but no big bands. They haven't had any big bands on those nights.
Because of COVID and stuff. Because of
Yeah.
that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was cool when you guys played there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there being now an older musician that started when you were very young, what advice would you have for there's a lot of newer bands now that have come out. They're young, they're mostly rock, and they're originals. These three bands that I'm speaking of have just all came out of the COVID time. And they spent that time recording and writing original music, and now they're playing live. Would you have what kind of advice would you have for those guys? I mean, you're a veteran.
I think this is how I'd answer it first, though. I want their advice because I don't know anything about what's going on in the music scene right now. As far as making yourself, I need to take advice from these people. First and foremost, I think that's also good for anybody to take advice from this younger generation that actually knows how to generate views and, get things done on the web, because I am sorely lacking in that area. But if I guess if I could, give any advice, is just put your time in and play as much as you can.
Well, what do you think? Let me ask you the same question I asked Jeremy, and I loved Jeremy's answer, and I love each musician's views on this, especially musicians that have been through it and have longevity and know how to, how to maintain, how to stay in the music scene, and that is, what does paying your dues mean to you?
Well, you stumped me on that one. Shoot. Because I guess.
Do you feel like you paid your dues? Let me ask you that.
Oh yeah, in several aspects, yeah.
You better answer that yes, because I believe you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been working on a song called Seasoning. I don't know if it'll be any good or anything, but I remember starting out, and there was people that say, well, you're good, but you need to get some seasoning. That really that you got to go out there, no matter if you have to pay any hard dues or travel and be worn out and weary, you just keep working at it, and you'll get what the seasoning you need to get to, round out whatever inspiration you started with.
Yeah, because we're in a time of with the internet and with Instagram and all of that, where people try so hard to get anything to go viral, You know, they'll do anything to make something, and sometimes it does. Sometimes it's immediate, and I'm like, you really didn't. I mean, to get that much that fast when you haven't really been seasoned, that I don't see that lasting. I think that's like a rocket. I mean, it's just gonna it's gonna fade out, and you're gonna be sit there with hurt feelings because nobody's paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
I've always thought that paying your dues had something to do with making it through the rough times, and you're still here. Like I don't know if I should mention this, the show that almost happened but didn't in Aurora.
What?
They had a Kilborn Alley had a show in Aurora that didn't happen. Almost did.
What's that story?
Um,
We can close on that one.
I don't even know. I don't even know that story. That you mean one of these times?
You
This-
went to some place and there was no people there, and they told you wait, and then you waited and you waited, and then finally they said, there's not enough people here. We can't have you.
Zach, I tell you what, that kind of stuff has happened more times than that, man.
So you paid your dues.
Yeah, you paid your dues, and you didn't like cry about it and whine about it on Facebook and make a nasty. You know what I'm saying? You like are like, well, okay, you know, well, all right, on to the next one.
Yeah,
On to the next one.
the gig that wasn't. Yeah, Zach, there was a lot of those. Thanks for reminding me.
That's if anybody knows those stories, it's Zach. Like stuff that you don't even remember. Fascinating. So I think we'll close on that, Andy. Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
It was just a pleasure, man. I just had a great time. Terry, Zach, you guys are great. I love what you do. Keep doing it. This podcast is really cool. Cheers to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Have a good night. Hang in there when we stop recording, okay?
Okay. All right.
At the Candyland Motel, vacancy on the door. In the neon sign, saying free HBO. Remember when we started, we had to keep it on the low.
I had a boyfriend, you had a girlfriend, couldn't let nobody know.
So 2 towns over, on the county line,
I met my baby by the neon sign.
Candyland Motel, vacancy on the door. In the neon sign, saying free HBO. Oh, you grab the wine, I'll grab the key.
Don't matter, baby, as long as it's you and me.
Well, now your work is getting hectic, and I'm always on the road.
There's still one place we can go.
2 towns over, on the county line.
I met my baby